No one wants to talk about this. We can't say this.
Oh look, it's that crazy right-wing conservative Christian kid who tries to sound like a radio DJ. Hi.
But up to 1994...
Do you even remember 1994? I was only one. I can't really remember anything.
The North American Man-Boy Love Association, created back in 1978, was affiliated with the International Lesbian and Gay Association. NAMBLA is an organization that currently, still in existence, fights to remove the legal age of consent, and that's what it was founded upon. It was founded upon pedophilia, legalizing pedophilia. And the International Lesbian and Gay Association applied for accreditation from the UN. And the UN denied them that status. They suspended them because the International Lesbian Gay Association was associated with not only NAMBLA, but also two other pedophilia organizations. They were affiliated with Martang, which was a Dutch organization promoting pedophilia, and also Project Truth. No one wants to focus on that. No one wants to talk about that and bring that up.
And that company, as immediately after they were denied entry for that UN consultation, they excluded NAMBLA and the two other organisations, and eventually, in about 12 years' time, 13 years' time, they were granted consultation, and they were later given full consultation in 2011. Now, I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to argue against gay marriage, because apparently as in the Western world, if we give gays and lesbians, etc., the full legal status to get married, that'll probably cause a slippery slope, and we'll be allowing men to marry boys and people to marry dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. The slippery slope fallacy. This is what you're arguing, and I'm sorry, Cowger, that's not going to happen. You see, you're trying to do the age-old argument that homosexuality is linked with paedophilia, and that's not the case. Look, NAMBLA is man-boy love, so of course these guys are going to be gay, you know? I mean, what do you think? And there's always going to be fringe and crazy type of groups in every movement, in every form of subculture and society, okay? That is the nature of humanity. These people do not represent the 99% of all gay men, nor do they represent everyone else in the LGBT community. You're trying to equate them with everyone else. They were kicked out for a reason. It wasn't just because they didn't get the consultation. These people are batshit crazy, as you said. Okay? And people don't talk about it because, let's be honest, that is no longer relevant. It is not relevant to what they're fighting for, or to the argument at all. It's a fallacy to suggest that it is.
No one wants to say that back in 1972, pedophilia was considered a gay right. They had this big gay conference that took place in Chicago, the first national gay conference, where all these gay organizations came in and gathered, and they decided to have a conference, 1972, on discussing what should we consider gay rights. And pedophilia was considered a gay right. Legalizing pedophilia, considered a gay right. Legalizing prostitution, considered a gay right.
According to the New York Times in 1989, and I'll provide a link to that, as well as other stuff, because it's quite hard to find research about this, even just using quick Google searches. It's clear from what I've gathered that this law seems rather this kind of demand seems rather arbitrary and has nothing to do with paedophilia. I think it's possibly to do with the fact that there were many laws back then that were different for straight and gay men and women. I mean, especially in the UK, there used to be a completely different age of consent for the two sides. Like, I think it was 18 for gay people and 16 for us straight people, and that's now changed. And I think that's probably what they were referring to, though obviously the vast majority of people in the community never said that. They were never for that, and as you can tell, 40 odd years onwards, they haven't done it. They've not been repealed. In the US, depending on the state by state status, it is still 16 to 18, the age of consent. But it's funny that you are attacking the LGBT community for supposed paedophilia, but in the Bible, it's clear that the Bible does not, it actually condones having relationships with kids, incest, for example, multiple wives, etc., you know? Rather hypocritical of you, Mr. Cowger. And plus you're being deliberately disingenuous. Nobody is trying to legalise paedophilia, and prostitution, of course it should be legal. If it's legal for female prostitutes, it should be legal for male prostitutes. Gay, lesbian or straight, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing to do with paedophilia. Again, your slippery slope argument slips up, excuse the pun.
And we have the documentation to prove it. We even have pictures from it. So, because a lot of liberal organizations like to pretend, this didn't happen. But a lesbian historian, her name is Marie J. Kuda, that's it, wrote this in a book, Out and Proud in Chicago, published it, and also included that in it, that one of the most controversial things that they put in it was legalizing pedophilia. Yeah, so it definitely happened. And one of the famous lawyers, Morty Manford, fought for gay rights back in his early years. He was an early gay rights advocate, according to the...
Yet none of it ever happened. You can see quickly after 1972, that was never mentioned again. You're cherry-picking a lot here, Cowger, to try and say that legalising gay marriage was a mistake because it's going to lead to horrible things. It's not going to lead to horrible things. Maybe the horrible things will be a lot of messy breakups and divorces, but hey, that's what happens when people marry.
New York Times, and he said in his papers that are currently found in the New York Public Library that, in fact, back in 1972, they had a gay convention to discuss what they should consider gay rights to present to the Republican and Democratic Party to try to gain support. So this definitely happened.
And herein lies the problem with his argument. This was a debate to work out what gay rights is. And it's clear from that after 1972 that repeal law makes no other appearance. People aren't asking for them to be repealed because they worked out what gay rights are. Remember, this was the first ever conference, so all the extremes from both sides of the spectrum are going to be there, and their voices are going to be heard, and they're going to be included for inclusivity's sake. That's what I've gathered from the sources, which you don't list. I had to find them myself. None of this has happened. There's no gay person that I know of has called for this. No one. Not a single intellectual. Yes, this happened, but they didn't carry on with it. It's clear they abandoned it very quickly and expelled NAMBLA and all the others because, again, paedophilia does not equate with gays. It's just it's bullshit. There are straight paedophiles too, especially in the Bible.
So pedophilia, legalizing pedophilia, was embraced by the LGBT community until 1994.
Actually, there was a great controversy immediately after that, in the late 70s and especially throughout the 80s, when NAMBLA tried to associate itself with gay rights, and the vast majority of gay rights organisations actually tried to remove them from the movement. You know, they actually banned them from gay rights parades, you know? So, the idea that they embraced it until 1994 is a lot of bullshit. Some disingenuous arguments from you yet again. You haven't even had the basic... You've not even bothered to even look it up and see what actually went on. You're just trying to peddle this same old right-wing Christian fundamentalist bullshit. And it's not working, Cowger. The people have spoken, as well as someone in your comments said. Gay rights is a thing. Deal with it. No one's going to force you to marry another man. Paedophilia is never ever ever going to be legal. We're not going to marry our dogs and our cats. We're not going to have sex with them, okay, unless you're really weird in that kind of way. In which case, you know, whatever, they'll be punished because it's illegal. At least in the UK and maybe the US, I don't know. Stop it, alright? Nothing is going to happen. It's not happened. That's not part of their agenda. It's not part of gay rights. It never has been, and it never will be.
When Bill Clinton signed into effect a thing where the UN could not recognize any, give any accreditation to an organization that promoted pedophilia. So yeah, that's what happened there. So the only reason why the LGBT movement dropped pedophilia was to advance their own political agenda, to advance everything else.
So a minority of gay men have an organisation called NAMBLA. A few want to have sex with young boys. Yeah, apparently the entire LGBT movement kind of agrees with them that they should have paedophilia as a gay right. No, sorry, you can't say that. You can't distort the facts to say that they are a paedophilia supporting movement. They're not. Okay, you can't twist it in any other way. There's a tiny minority that are, and they will long disassociated with, apart from that organisation as you speak about. The vast majority of them had nothing to do with NAMBLA and haven't for a very long time.
You just wonder how long is it going to be before they start fighting for pedophilia again. It's just a matter of time. I mean, like I said, this is all about normalizing perversions of sex.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. This has just been one whole slippery slope argument from Cowger here, and let's be honest, it's not going to happen. They've never fought for paedophiles' rights. They never have. One throwaway kind of demand that they haven't used since 1972 is somehow representative of them supporting paedophiles' rights and try to enforce it into law. They haven't done it. They will not do it. All they wanted was the same rights as us straight people. They now have it. The only thing that's left is to try and combat this people like you who are spreading discrimination and hate. Now, you can have your views, and I may not like them, and I support your right to voice them and to have them. But, you know, they won. Okay? They got their well-deserved rights. Nothing else is going to happen. You know what? In 10 years, let's see what happens. Because I can guarantee you nothing's going to happen. They said this about loads of other civil rights movements, like the black people, the Native Americans, etc. They all said, everything's going to slide, everything's going to go into moral decay, everything's going to get worse and worse and worse, and it hasn't. Life goes on, and hardly anything changes, apart from society becomes that little bit more equal.
So, get ready.
Get ready for absolutely nothing, people. He's just fear-mongering, he's cherry picking, he's just doing the same old fallacy arguments time and time again. Don't worry about it. Nothing's gonna happen. They'll have more rights that we straight people have. Life will go on. Life will pass us by. There will be loads of divorces, a lot of hearts broken, because that's what happens. You know, along with the right to marry, you have the right to divorce. That's probably the worst thing that's going to happen. Potentially. Paedophilia is not going to be legalised. It never will be. It's an abhorrent thing, and it will remain that way. Until next time, people, this has been CharmingMan93. Like and share the video. Drop a comment, subscribe to my channel, and you said I always pick on extreme left.